Robin, Audrey and Marjorie Manners, both aged 17, are secretly engaged. They both come from recusant Catholic families in Derbyshire. But she is the more devout of the two. Robin's mother died when he was about 7. And his father has continued to practice the Catholic faith, despite having to pay heavy fines for refusing to attend services in the established Church of England. The two families meet several times a year, when Mass is being secretly offered by a priest. The story begins when Robin visits his fiancée and tells her that his father has announced that he can no longer tolerate the persecution and fines, that he will take the bread and wine in the Anglican Church at Easter, and that Robin must do the same. Marjorie advises her lover to leave the area for Easter, so that his father will have time to accept that his son will not follow him. She gives him a rosary which belonged to the recently executed priest Cuthbert Main, kisses him for the first time, and urges him to trust in God. When he arrives home, Robin finds his friend Anthony Babington waiting for him. Anthony is also a Catholic, fanatically devoted to the imprisoned Catholic Queen of Scots. Robin tells Anthony of his troubles. Later, the two men are out riding, and pass 3 other men. One of them, Mr. Garlick, recognizes Anthony, having heard Mass in his house, and on being assured that Robin is also a Catholic, introduces the newly ordained Mr. Simpson and his traveling companion Mr. Ludlam to the two friends, telling them that Mr. Simpson will say Mass the following Sunday. Robin realizes, as he goes home, that he must not mention this to his father. Robin's troubles at home increase, as he has to cope with his father's anger and sneers. Meanwhile, Marjorie is tormented by unexpected but persistent ideas that perhaps God is calling Robin to the priesthood. She feels that if a love higher than hers is calling, she must not stand in the way, but is unsure whether such thoughts come from God or from her own imagination. She talks to Mr. Simpson, but he is unable to advise her. She is afraid to mention it to Robin, in case she has merely imagined this to be God's will, yet feels she should at least sow a seed in his mind. She prays for guidance, thinking that a broken heart and God's will done would be better than that God's will should be avoided and her own satisfied. Udharan Chenne. On Easter Sunday, after the two lovers have met secretly for Mass with other Catholics at Pudley, home to the Fitzherbert family, Marjorie tells Robin her thoughts, promising that she will marry him if he wishes, but saying that if it is God's will that Robin should be a priest, she will not hold him for a day. Horrified, Robin accuses Marjorie of wanting to be rid of him. On seeing how hurt she is, he kisses her and begs her forgiveness, but tells her that he cannot make that sacrifice. Udharan Chenne. Later that day, Mr. Simpson, looking pale and speaking with a trembling voice, reads out to the group of Catholics a letter he has received, telling of the execution of a priest Mr. Nelson, and of a layman Mr. Sherwood, and how bravely they both faced martyrdom. Both were hanged, drawn and quartered for their faith. Mr. Sherwood had also been racked several times. The host, Mr. Fitzherbert, announces that the letter is from Mr. Ludlam, who has decided to go to Douai and study for the priesthood. There have also been rumors that Mr. Garlick will go too. The following week, Robin returns home, full of doubts and fears, and worried about his financial situation, as he has no money of his own, and his father has made it clear that he will not pay fines for Robin's refusal to attend church. On his way home, he meets Anthony, who hints at some enterprise to restore the Catholic faith to England, and urges Robin to join him and his friends. Robin's doubts increase, unsure of what Anthony's secret enterprise involves, hopeful that it may offer him a way out of his dilemma and enable him to marry Marjorie. yet unclear as to the morality of the enterprise. He tells Anthony he cannot decide immediately. When he goes back into the house, he faces his father, who angrily demands to know his intentions. Robin begs his father not to pressurize him, but to give him time. And his father gives him until Pentecost. That night, after several failed attempts to sleep, Robin hears the noise of horses, is seized with curiosity, and goes out to see who is riding at that hour. Hiding behind a wall, he sees Mr. Simpson setting out on one of his perilous journeys with 2 other men. The sight of the priest risking his life to serve God and bring consolation to souls inspires Robin to make the decision against which he has been fighting. He goes to his father's room, wakes the old man, and says he is ready to give his answer. It is that I must go to Reims and be a priest. A few days later, Robin comes to Marjorie to say goodbye before setting out for Reims. They agree that he must always remember that he is to be a priest, and that if he comes to her house, it must just be as to any Catholic neighbor.